Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing you guys some more Digimon ReArise, and as we said in our last video, our leak video, we were going to be getting Magnamon. Of course, he's a limited summon banner, he's not a step up, so you have to take that into consideration. There is no guarantee you're going to get him, so some of you may get lucky or very unlucky. Now, with that in mind, since we are getting a new banner, it is just tradition around here to say, do we skip or do we summon? And that's what a lot of you have been asking me. So let's go take a look at the skills real quick, and then we'll get right into that. So we have here, it's going to be dropping my time, 2100 hours, which will be way later this evening for me. So it'll be quite a ways away, but it'll be later today. I'm going to try and do a live stream for my summons, because I do plan to go about 4 or 5 multis in. So there's your answer. I will be summoning, so obviously it is worth. But I want to kind of dive a little bit more into how worth it really is. So don't get too carried away, guys. So it has been a while since I've said a banner was worth going into, but don't get too carried away. All right, let's go over his skills and talk a little bit about him first, and then I'll give you guys my perspective and opinion and analysis and stuff like that on our boy Magnamon, who, by the way, dropped very early on Global, similar to the whole Creepymon situation. So Bandai is obviously just giving us a little bit of the lower tier Digimon, kind of right on pace what they did in JP, but then they're kind of sprinkling in some stronger tier Digimon to try and catch us up to JP. I'm assuming. I don't really know what their game plan is. Maybe they were looking and seeing that they were pretty low in sales for this month because nobody was really summoning on these banners very much. So I guess they decided to try and pull a rabbit out of a hat, throw us a curveball, and try to get those financials a little bit more stable, a little bit more revenue. But anywho, let's go ahead and talk about his skill set here. All right, so Plasma Shot, main skill, 280% damage to 3 enemy targets, increases all allies' power damage resistance by 30%, which is very good right now because this is one of the reasons why Machine Dramon is actually starting to work his way up a little bit, because we're starting to see a little bit more power in the meta thanks to a lot of people running Creepymon, and of course Genkuamon. So the power damage resistance, of course, isn't lowering the power of the enemy by 30%, but it kind of works the same way because you're still taking 30% less power damage. So still very good. Increases one's own counter rate by 50%. Now that is important to note because with a couple special plugins, you're going to be able to get his counter rate up to 100%. You can even get counter on defensive plugins as well. So yeah, you can go ahead and try and get his counter up to 100%. He's going to do a little bit more DPS for you. P-Charge Impact. This is a sub-skill. 320% damage to a single enemy target. Increases one's own power by 40%. So he basically boosts himself, so you don't need to rely on a power booster on your team that you're running him on, which is very good. Makes him a little bit more self-efficient, especially with his counter rate going up, his power rate going up, and just not bad skill set. Obviously, I'd like that percentage on a single target to be a little bit higher, but not too bad, considering that he is still going to be outputting more DPS thanks to his counter rate on his S1, so keep that in mind. Nullify Poison, Burn, and Error affects targeting tenacious allies for 3 turns. So, you know, basically any yellow Digimon on your team, you're going to be getting that free, you know, no DOTs allowed kind of thing for the first 3 turns. Poison, Burn, Error. Very, very cool. If you're running Genkuamon with him, or Hyandramon, for example, and of course himself, because he is a yellow, this is a tenacious Digimon. So, not bad. Personality Tenacious, as we just said. Attribute Earth, so that'll be the, of course, Digivolution code you're going to have to farm for. Now, you will have to do his raid, his Clash Battle, to get his 5 Digivolution codes, so you can make Digivolve him to Mega. So also keep that in mind. His HP is 8981. Very, very high. Very good. Power is 2520. A little bit on the lower end. But again, that and his 320% damage on a single target are kind of offset by the fact that he is going to be hitting quite a bit because he's going to have extremely high counter rate. So that is something to consider. Defense is also very good. 16, 13, speed 22. Right around average. You usually get a lot of megas around 22, 27 outside of Devoted. So overall, not a bad Digimon. He provides you a few things in your team comps. He's going to be very good for the upcoming floors of Underworld. That almost 9,000 HP with 2,500 power is pretty good. That power might look pretty low, you know, from the naked eye, but when you consider you throwing in, he ups his own power by 40%. That, of course, is going to make that power a lot higher. And then you also, of course, have the counter rate that you could easily get to 100% because of his S1, thus allowing him to attack multiple times within a fight. So, you know, his DPS overall was still going to pretty much average out to some of the other hard hitters in the game, with all that said, to go along with being extremely tanky because of his HP and defense. So, not bad. You put him on a team with Hyandramon, you put him on a team with Gankuamon, put him on a team with Creepymon. You have a very tanky and very self-efficient team. You have a very solid second turn team. So, obviously, speed is still very, very strong, and it's never going to go away. But if you can somehow make a wall for your opponents to run into, it's not going to be too bad. So, this team is definitely going to be super tanky with what I just said, and they're going to be hitting pretty hard. They're going to be tanking pretty hard. Not too bad, and you don't gotta rely too much on block rate with yellow Digimon. That's something to consider, because a lot of people are like, oh, just stack block, and you're gonna be fine. Well, eventually in the meta, we're gonna have a lot of big daddies and a lot of other little daddies that are gonna go in and just ignore your block rate. So block rate is not gonna keep you protected for long, but having almost 9,000 HP and 1,600 defense does. So you got don't confuse a tanky team with a team with a lot of block. That's not what we're talking about. Tanky team is meaning that they can up their defenses and they have high HP. That's what I mean by tankiness. So very, very good overall. Somebody asked me in the comments section of my last video where I was talking about Magnamon being the next banner during my leak video. And they said, you keep saying Big Daddy, and then let's say Big Daddy is a 10. Where would you put Magnamon on that scale? And I told them it would be a 5. 6 if I'm being generous. So, obviously, Magnamon on the JP side of things wasn't all that, because by the time he dropped in JP, they already had a lot of other strong Digimon available that we do not have in Global, since we're getting him very early. And because of that, and only because of that, I feel that Magnamon is worth summoning for right now. If we were following suit with JP, this would probably be a different situation where I'd say, maybe he's not worth it because we already have a lot of other strong Digimon available. But since we do not have those yet, and we have no idea when they're getting here, since Bandai is changing banners up, apparently left and right, I would safely say that it's worth going in and summoning for Magnamon. At least maybe a couple multis. Don't go too crazy. Don't completely tap out all your rubies, because there are going to be other Digimon, of course, coming. We don't know when they're going to be coming. And Mirage is another really solid one that might be worth going for. And Lotusmon, those should be coming soon as well. So don't go too crazy, guys. But he is worth it. His skill set's pretty good. It allows for his weaknesses to also become a strength. So there you guys go. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to subscribe, tick notifications, join us in the Discord description below. Let me know if you guys are going to be summoning for Magnamon. And it's been a while since I've had a Digimon to summon for that I considered somewhat worthwhile. So it's nice. But until then, have an awesome day, and I'm going to catch you all later. Peace.